Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're all well. Bit of a bloodbath lately, huh? This whole Luna depegging, or UST depegging, I should say, not Luna depegging. Wow. Oh, I'm shocked. I'm in shock. Like it was, I haven't seen anything like it. Like something from the top 10 gets obliterated. Like we've seen Ponzi's blow up before, but they were never in the top 10. For this to happen to a coin in the top 10 is massive. And it had big backing, and Binance had UST coin as a coin pair. So you could, instead of Bitcoin dollar, it was Bitcoin UST. That's a pretty big step for a algo coin to have that, but it's all fallen apart. I wasn't affected. I don't hold any UST or Luna. So hopefully you guys are all right. So in light of what's happened in the blood pile, because everything suffered because of it. So let's see where we're at. So the list that I got from the Facebook post, we'll just go through those one by one, and we'll try and keep the video short. And I keep saying that, but they always drag on. But anyway, so let's look at Bitcoin. So this is the log chart, and I've got the 200 EMA, which is this purple line, and this brownish maroon line is the 200 SMA. So those of you in my Facebook group would have noticed me post about that area before, because I said that historically it's been a good place to buy because it's usually the bottom. And people are going to say, well, we've only had like 3 bottoms in the past, not counting the one back here, which was early, like 2011. This was the COVID dump here, and this was just the bear markets after the last 2 bull cycles. So people are going to say that the market's different now, and inflation and all that sort of stuff, and all that's true, but it's really all we have to go on. That being said, Bitcoin is way more correlated to traditional markets now than it was back here, and especially back here. So we'll see what happens. But with the evidence that all we've got to work with is suggesting that the bottom is going to be around here, right? So here. So we're coming up to that point now. This pink line is just the 20K line from the last all-time high back in 2017 or end of 2017. So we're not quite there yet. It's about 27K. So in this area, you would dollar cost average in. Some people are calling for 14K, which is the top of this one. Bitcoin's never broken through a previous all-time high from a major cycle before. And so technically it's happened here, but you could argue it was a double top. So technically it has broken and fallen through. So could it happen again? And could we, revisit down here? Like Bitcoin's never been below the 200 ever for any great length of time. So it just closed just below it and then it's recovered instantly. So just looking at where it's been and what's happening, what's happened in the past, then the time to start adding to your long-term bags is going to be when prices in this area. Could it bounce here and recover? Absolutely. Who knows? So it's really up to you when you want to start getting back in. If we do make it down to the 20K, it's going to be defended so hard. There are so many people waiting for this. It's just because it's just a simple supply, support resistance flip, right? So even just basic TA people are going to be buying this area. We'll have to see what it's like if it gets there. But right now, I mean, this is really bearish. This red candle here is bigger than the last one. Let's just go back to linear chart. So this candle here is bigger than the last one. So that means the bear market, the bear selling is accelerating. And I think I read on Twitter that there has never been before in Bitcoin's history 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 red weekly candles before in a row. Somebody picked that up, and just having a quick glance, seems right to me. 1, 2, 3. And there's a green one in the middle there. So yeah, it's almost 2 months of just down, straight down. So I'm not buying yet. I'm not buying Bitcoin yet. I'm just going to wait and see. Let's see what the wash is from all this Luna UST sort of malarkey that's going on. So we're kind of at this previous bottom point where it has bounced before. So it's bounced here and here and here, and then really took off and then gave us that run between July and the end of the year. It's also bouncing points from here. So we're at that same point again. This will take us back to 20K. Let's put the lines in for here and here and see what that looks like. So that's the gap between the 200 EMA and SMAs in this area. You got 20K here. Yeah, so it seems to be bouncing off the first one. So if it makes it down here, there might be a little relief rally, then down. But again, Bitcoin's heavily correlated with traditional finance. So we'll see. For me, I am not doing anything, but I will be buying, definitely buying around here. Next on the list. So Solana's on the list. So all these are going to look the same. Well, these are old lines. Let's get rid of them. That was a loss from before. Let's draw in some fresh lines. Let's have a look over here. So we're now all the way down here. It was the bottom there. So we bounced up here, hit the top of here, underside, basically support and resistance flip, which took 4 months to do, but it did it, and then just created from here, which mirrors pretty much everything else in the top 10. So we bounced hard, and now we're rolling over, it seems. So you're probably going to find it. Yeah, here's the bounce. So we either do some sort of inverse head and shouldersy type thing and then go up, or we consolidate for a while. So you'll probably find that most of the alts are going to look like this. As far as levels are concerned for Solana, so this area obviously is a good place to start dollar cost averaging in if you are interested. This would be the next area of interest for me, around $25. After that, you would be going around this area. So that's $12 to $15. And then after that, there isn't much until you get back down to the single digits. So like $5 and stuff like that. So they're the levels. That's a straight down though. So let's put the volume on. Lots of buying and selling activity here. We haven't seen that much since back here, which was roughly the top. Here's the top. So here's the top. Sort of in this area. Must have been some people exiting on the complacency bounce into that area there, which is why it's so spiky there. But yeah, biggest trading volume since all the way back here. So it could be people starting to scale in. I've read numerous tweets of people that are saying that they are doing that. So they're not saying it's the bottom. They're just saying that they're buying in now. These are big traders, so they're not, they've got a track record. Yeah, so they're starting to do that. So for me, yeah, here or here, it's still too vertical first. So for me, I'm not saying this is the bottom at all. This is way too sharp. This is down only badness, yuck. Don't like it. Bear markets like this, I don't know if you were around for the last one, but they don't just instantly bounce and go back to bull, right? So especially this time around, because so many people have been hurt with the Luna thing. The funds have been wiped out, and we've got big players have come out and said, look, I put my hand up and I said to do this and I did it and I've lost hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm going, what? It's going to take a while to heal. Next one. ETH is next on the list. So, yeah, I got laughed at when not by everybody. I'm sure there's some people that were and didn't say anything, but it's like, oh yeah, if you do a head and shoulders, that means that the target price is going to be negative, whatever price. That's not really the point, is it? That's not the point. Sometimes you just need to have artistic license when you do these things. That's obviously a head and shoulders-ish looking pattern, right? So other people are going to see that and they're going to go, right, this is starting to break down. This is curving over. They're not necessarily going to be getting out their protractors and measuring lengths of heads and worrying about price. Just because its price is negative doesn't mean that this isn't a valid bearish thing, right? Especially when you got all the other stuff going on. So we've broken that and now we're heading down. So that's yuck as well. Where is it going? Levels to watch and put your buy orders for Ethereum 1800. 1800-ish would be the next one. And then after that, yeesh, maybe 1400? Probably about it, really. There really isn't a lot to go on after that. There's not a lot of price action. I'd say that this is going to touch 1800, to be honest. So for me, I'm not buying any more Ethereum until we get down to here. So yeah, not great. The ETH2 merge is coming up whenever. It's been pushed back twice now, I think. Definitely at least once. So pay attention to the merge, or make sure you're on top of it. What's going on with it, how the testing's going, is it being a success or not? Because if the ETH2 merge doesn't work and they don't switch to POS, that's not good. That's not a good thing for Ethereum. So be careful with that one too. Keep an eye on that. Luna is the next on the list that was voted for. Yuck. Holy moly. I don't even know what that line's for, but let's get rid of that. Right, so we're at the bottom. We're at 37 cents. Can we go lower? The answer is yes. Jeez, check out the volume bar. The volume bar is so big that all the other volumes, you can hardly see them. Now, if you're not aware, the reason why Luna is going down besides people selling it is because the way that UST, the way the burning and minting mechanism for UST works. So where are we at UST? So the short explanation is, as long as UST hasn't regained dollar, it's not repegged, then what happens is people will burn UST because there's far too many out in circulation because it's not a dollar, right? So they're trying to reduce supply. So what they do is that they go to Terra and they burn UST, and then they get cheap Luna as payment for that. So it creates this arbitrage thing, right? So that means that you get more Luna than you would have before, so you can sell Luna instantly at a profit. And then that entices people to burn more UST, which is supposed to repeg everything. But and that would work well in a closed system, but it's not a closed system because there are perpetuals and there's all this other stuff, and you can just buy and sell Luna like naked. Like you just go into your wallet and buy Luna and then sell Luna whenever you want. So there isn't just the whole people. It's not just the Luna Terra people burning UST to get the Luna and then sell immediately for arbitrage profit. And there's this talk on Twitter about it being manipulated, and there was a bad actors and all that stuff, and it's probably a gray area true somewhere. But yeah, so basically the short answer is, as long as UST is not $1, there's going to be selling pressure on Luna from people trying to burn UST to reduce the supply to get it back to peg. But when you burn UST, you get all this Luna, which you can sell instantly for profit. So we could get down towards 1 cent easily. The only thing that would stop that would be, whether they, the Luna guys change something to the, the burning mechanism, which they are. They're doing stuff in governance at the moment, and they're trying to vote on, changes to it to help the peg get back. Go to the 5, you really have to go to the 5-minute chart. Look, it's starting at the bottom here, but that doesn't mean that, see, it started at the bottom here, came up, and people were buying it, and then all of a sudden, bang, more selling. So if you're going to trade this is more of a fundamental thing, okay? The charts aren't going to help. It's already at the bottom. We're already at below what we think support is going to be, and 0 is right here. But don't be fooled, right? You could buy in here and it could still fall to 1 cent, and then you lose 99% of your money. So be careful. You're better off just shorting any rips. So anytime it recovers, especially back to one of these EMAs, like it has here and here, then short it. This one almost made it to the 200. But it's just been pushed down by the EMA since then. So watch the peg. If it's back at $1, don't short Luna because it's back at peg. So a whole bunch of the selling pressure will go away. But it's not at peg at the moment. But do keep an eye on what they're talking about in governance if you're going to trade this. If you just want to scalp away, go for it. But short rips, I wouldn't be buying this, because all you're doing is giving your money to the people that are trying to repeg, that are burning UST. So that's my thoughts on Luna. The next one is VET. VET. Let's have a look. Let's use the Binance chart. Let's have a look. Yeah, typical altcoin chart pattern where it's ripped up, coming up again, and it's like the Wall Street cheat sheet sort of looking pattern. Where are we? Let's have a look at some levels. There's one around here, so it's broken through that one. So the next level is going to be probably around here-ish. So 0.022 cents. Yeah, so I mean, that looks dead set like Solana does, like this last little shape here. So it recovered, had that, you could call it an exit pump even. Had the exit pump here, and then it's just been capitulation ever since. See, Same. It's the same. So you know, all alts are behaving the same way at the moment. So your coin isn't different. It's not special. We're in the middle of a bear market. Everybody is rattled because of Luna. All coins are going to behave the same. It's just a matter of, what level things are at. Near. I really wanted Near to be okay. I really did, but it's going to suffer the same fate as everything else. Everything is getting dragged down. So we're right at this juncture. The next one underneath that is here. About there. Yep. Right. So it could get back to $4 quite easily. So it's a similar story with all the other charts, right? So Ethereum is here, but it like the next level of support is right there. Everything looks so much the same. So back to near. Right, we had that rounded off and dump. If the rest of the market doesn't bounce here, neither will this. It will just keep going down. And that's just vertical like that. Look at the amount of volume that there is there. The only other time that it's been bigger than that is just once here. So September 2021. So it's done it's almost like a year round trip. We're back to this area again. So now it's more of like a keep a ear on the fundamentals of Near, how their chain's going. Are they going to be a true competitor to Ethereum and all the other Ethereum killers, right? This would be the buying area, but if you lose that level, then just cut it all because it's going to fall all the way down to like $2. Axie Infinity, the other Ponzi. Right. So Axie Infinity was great when people were onboarding and buying Axies so they could breed more Axies, and then more players were coming in and scooping up those Axies. But then it just got oversaturated. So no more new players were coming in, but all these breeders were still breeding like crazy. So you got these excess of Axies floating around and nobody buying them. So like the price of the Axies start to fall. The SLP token is getting, obviously decimated because everyone in the Philippines is playing this and then just selling it into the ground. Then they had the Ronin hack, which is around here. So that was an obvious short. Although, in saying that, I think the Ronin hack was around here. So it didn't really start falling off for like almost like a week and a bit later, which is unusual. These lines have had drawn in for a while. So we've made it to the second one. So the third one's going to be like 11. So, shorting it down to 10, $11 is, not out of the question. Again, everything's just following everything else. So if everything else is starting to still go down, this will go down to $11. Easy. What's next? I think we'll leave it at that. Maybe just a quick check on Avalanche. I mean, wow, that's fallen all. I haven't even looked at Avalanche in a while. That's fallen through that big level at 40. Gee, that's bad. That's some old lines. Ignore those. So this is the next level at $20. Yeah. Hold on to your hats, kids. Stay alive. Don't start aping into things all at once. Dollar cost average into your favorite ones if you have to do something. For me, I'm not doing anything. Everyone is still emotionally scarred from this Luna collapse. So there's going to be a whole bunch of people picking up the pieces. And funds as well, right? And there were protocols that were invested in it. They had their treasuries in there. it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. So yeah, it is a mess. So yeah, for me, I'm just chilling it for a while. This weekend, I'm going to Adelaide for the crypto conference, and they couldn't have timed it any better. Oh man. Yeah, so that's free. And that's probably a good price since everyone's poor now. So it's at the Hilton in Adelaide. And I think this goes for like 3 or 4 hours. And yeah, so I'll be there, and a bunch of other people are there. Protocols as well. They'll be talking about what they're up to. And yeah, I'll hang around after and have some beers with whoever wants to have a chat. So come say good day, and if I don't see you there, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.